All right, we had the second of two wraparound events just go down this past weekend. So 2022's calendar year season is officially over.
Yeah.
It's done. 2023 we're two events into. So take that how you will. It was a pretty exciting event. I did notice I didn't get to watch all of the rounds live, but I did notice my phone notify me that they were live during like round one, which silver events last year, that wasn't the case. It was only the final round. So I don't know if that's the plan going forward. Yeah, I don't know if they've announced that.
That's a good question.
But I did notice it was something, which New World isn't new to the Pro Tour. I believe the Pro Tour Championship was there in 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
It was the year Chris Dickerson won. He won down there. But I don't think it's really been seen on the Pro Tour since then. So on the FPO side, we had Maria Oliva take down her first ever Pro Tour win. Deanne Carey came in second, and Jessica Weiss and Sarah Hokum tied for third. On MPO, we also had another first-time silver event champion, Mr. Paul McBeth. He took down his first ever silver event, according to the Pro Tour's Twitter. I didn't believe it, but the Pro Tour tweeted it. So, like, we're going to question the Pro Tour.
Interesting.
Double G came in second, and then Isaac and Ezra Robinson tied for third. Little brother duo tying it up.
That's fun.
I saw Isaac, I believe it was Isaac posted, and he was like, I wonder if this is the first time ever that two brothers have been on lead card at a Pro Tour event.
Has to be.
Surely.
Oh, yeah,
The
probably.
only other
Pro
ones
Tour,
like,
definitely.
because like the only other ones would be like Nate Sexton has a brother that's really good. Yuli has a brother that's really good. But like I don't think they play Pro Tours. And they definitely haven't got on a lead card.
Not on a lead card together.
But yeah, Paul being never winning a silver event before, I'm going to look this up. Because I don't know if like maybe they're getting the technicality because they're calling them silver events now before they were silver series. Because like surely.
He might not have won one.
Right? Let's just go career wins.
He doesn't, like in the Pro Tour era, especially over the last few seasons, he's kind of just won a couple events.
Okay, A tiers.
You're going to be scrolling for a while.
No, that's it. Yeah, no, he hasn't. You're right. He's won like the Gentleman's Club Challenge when it wasn't on NT or Pro Tour. The European Open, which is a Disc Golf World Tour event, so that was an A tier. And then a bunch of Pro Tours when they were just A tiers. But yeah, no Silver Series wins. Kind of shocking. Kind of random.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he doesn't play.
I guess he just doesn't play that many.
Yeah,
it's probably why I think Silver Series events fields are weak. Because like this weekend's field was
it was weak,
very weak. We can look now at points because I found this very interesting, right? So 2022.
Everybody's at Big Germ's wedding.
That's also true. 2022, Ricky wins the overall points by 5 points.
Yeah.
Going into 2023, you've now given Paul a 50-point lead over Ricky.
Yeah, it's a valuable lead.
And Chris Dickerson 42.5. So like, I think it's interesting because like the last silver event, Lake Marshall, the weekend before was the Big Money Skins. So people were in Missouri.
Right.
Some players like Ezra made the drive back and played in the silver event there at Lake Marshall Open, but a lot of players chose not to play that, and then a lot of players chose not to play the New World Championship. So these wraparound events, you do have players like Luke Sampson's gained 73 points so far, Ezra's at 58.5, Kevin Kiefer's at 54, Paul's at 50 for his win, Andrew Fish played both, got 49.67. So you have a lot of players who like...
It's huge.
Isaac Robinson, 36-point head start. There's a lot of guys who like they just played a few events, got some points. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised on FPO especially. Sarah Hokum has 76 points right now. She came in second at Lake Marshall, third at New World Championship. I'm surprised like Paige, Kat, Kristen, none of them played. Which Kristen I'm sure is back home.
Well, they're probably thinking they won had like a billion.
They did. Like FPO,
year.
it doesn't seem nearly as like
how much was there?
If you add
lead?
if you give Sarah Hokum 76 points, right, it puts her at 790, and she's about 130 away from sixth.
Yeah.
Which is then 130 away from sixth is then 240 away from first. So that's 370 away if you give Sarah Hokum the 70 points. So FPO doesn't really make that big of a difference. But who's to say 2023 is anything like 2022? It could make a big difference.
Also true.
Basically, for the 2023 season, there were some points on the table, a lot of points on the table, because neither of these fields were good by any means. They had like a few good players, but when you look at the depth of a typical Pro Tour event, like they might as well have been handing out points.
Yeah, yeah.
And you just had to show up.
Yeah, if you were like a top 20 caliber player, top 30 caliber player, like yeah, it was basically like here's some free points, and it'd be interesting to see like the tour is like changing a lot right now to where like year to year, like you mentioned, like we don't really know what to expect. Like we don't really know just how valuable 70 points is.
Yeah.
But as the years go on, and maybe by the end of this year, like we quickly find out how much more valuable that is, and maybe you see more players like, oh wait, these wraparounds are kind of crucial, because like honestly, it's a nice momentum gainer. It's actually not really a momentum gainer because
now you go into like months off.
Right, but it is momentum in the sense that you're starting the season with a head start, and like that's huge. And it means now you knock out one of these wraparounds. Like my thought process would be, I'm going to knock out one or two of these wraparounds, and then I'm going to use that to maybe take off weeks.
Yeah.
And not lose the opportunities necessarily.
Well, because also, like, yes, you can look at it and say, like, silver events are going to be dropped. So if I'm Ricky, I could be being like, well, instead of dropping one of the other ones, like,
right.
But points are so much easier at these two wraparound events.
Yeah.
Like once the season gets going, and it makes a lot more sense in the flow for players to be there.
These will be the weakest fields.
These are the weakest fields you'll see all year.
Yeah.
So that's more my standpoint or thinking is like, that's the easiest win Paul's going to have all year.
Yeah.
By a long shot. And so why not take it?
Absolutely.
And if I'm Rick, why not come to one of the two? If I'm Calvin, Gannon even, like, I think I can understand the reasoning behind it, because you're like, if I'm Ricky,
Calvin's
I can show up to.
Does he not live?
I think
in
he lives in Florida. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know where he's off season, and he might not.
I don't know.
But if you're a caliber player like that, you're probably thinking like, well, I can just pick up a win at a silver event, and you're probably not wrong.
Probably not.
But it's just gonna be harder than like if you were here. You just got to beat Paul, and if you don't beat Paul, you're probably coming in second.
Right.
If you're a Ricky, Gannon, Heimberg caliber player.
Yeah, it is interesting because like
Paul beat the field by I want to say 8.
Well, and if you look at the field, so you've got Paul that lives there.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Brody, who's got family there. You've got Double G lives there.
Mm-hmm.
But then you do have some players.
I think Ezra off season's in Florida.
Does Ezra?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
he lives in the RV.
I know I know he had mentioned that. So you do have a handful of players that it was just convenient for them, but then there are quite a few that are pretty committed, I think, to like, if there's a disc golf event, I'm going to drive to it.
Yeah.
Because like, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, like why not?